Week-long celebrations to mark the end to bankruptcy. Divisions within government echoes at Nalam Mawatha. A poster renews patriotic call. Lanka faction to join SJB. Namal worried by Prasanna's Durian Rambutan talk.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Week-long celebrations to mark the end to bankruptcy. With the weather improving now, the focus is now back on politics. Among the topics catching the eye these days is the uncertainty surrounding the presidential polls. SLPP leader Mahinda Rajapaksa warned President Ranil Wickremesinghe of a good lesson if elections were not held on time, but Ranil did not react to him because Mahinda went against his own stand just days after issuing a statement opposing privatizations. Those who are loyal to Ranil say the boss should be having his reasons for not making his election intentions clear. Last Tuesday, he met a group of youths at Water's Edge. They are his appointees at supervisory level to the 14 sectoral oversight committees. Each committee has 10 of them, who were active during the Aragalaya. Ranil explained to them how the country should be built. He said the presidential polls will decide the country's, not his, victory or defeat. When the floor was opened for the youth to speak, one asked him what he would do if he loses at the presidential polls. His prompt reaction was that he should contest in the first place to lose it. Only Ranil knows what he meant by that answer. In the meantime, there is also talk about extending the term of the president and the present parliament. Anyway, Ranil's men are now campaigning for the election. As the Leader TV revealed a few days ago, Wajira, Sagala, Ravi K and others are now running a mega-size campaign facility at Loris Lane, Bambalapitiya, while having their own offices too. Today being Hajj, a public holiday, a workshop for Ranil's campaigners, including ministers and MPs, took place at the Presidential Secretariat. Later in the day, he explained the decisions taken at a meeting at his official residence at Paget Road. It is said that Ranil will announce his candidature on the same day, and international assurance is given that Sri Lanka is no longer a bankrupt nation. Government economic experts believe that good news will come within the first 2 weeks of July. A decision has been taken to conduct an island-wide poster campaign on the very next day, a thank you note with his picture. Various organisations will follow suit by displaying banners, and the UNP plans to decorate key public places in the districts in green colour. Also, a week-long series of dialogues on television, as well as seminars and discourses across the country to commend his achievement, have been proposed. Harin and Manusha will arrange for a rally at the Aragalaya site, one of many to be held at district level. Furthermore, vehicles will carry the lion flag to celebrate the occasion. Most importantly, Ranil has agreed to meet other presidential hopefuls for live debates on the economy. Overcoming bankruptcy is no easy feat. Utmost patience and immense courage are needed. It is like a tightrope walk. It remains to be seen how the people will show their gratitude. For that, an election is a must. Divisions within government echoes at Nalam Mawatha. Last Wednesday, President Wickremesinghe got to know the IMF has decided to release the third tranche of the bailout loan. His chief of staff, Sagala Ratnayaka, told him about it, as he was in the midst of an important discussion. Immediately, Ranil thanked the ministers and officials for their commitment for enabling that to happen. That night, Ranil gave a dinner for cabinet ministers and his political confidants. Again, he thanked them for their support to overcome challenges in the past 2 years. Prasanna, Bandula, Kanchana, and a few others commended him for what he has achieved for the country. News about that reached the SLPP office at Nalam Mawatha. An official there in tie and coat said that Ranil had thanked only those who had given him side support only. He has forgotten the SLPP, without which all would have been ruined, said the official. Such are words of criticism that cannot stand the sight of celebration. What echoes and re-echoes at Nalam Mawatha is the deep divisions within the government. A poster renews patriotic call. A poster came up at the weekend in Colombo City and Nugagoda suburbs, which invited the 69 million to be at Ananda Samarakun Outdoor Theatre on the 18th afternoon. The design of the poster was very familiar. It was taken up from an old one which mentioned about 58 million only, so many thought it to be the work of the SLPP, but it was a campaign by Sarvajana Balaya. When journalists contacted its leaders, Govindu Kumaratunga answered that just like they did it for Mahinda, this time Wimal Weerawansa, Udaya Gamanpila and himself were behind it. He said anyone in the opposition is invited to the stage, except those who had gone to the north and recognised their so-called right to secede. Channa Jayasumana noted that some even promised more than the 13th Amendment for the north. Patriotism that was nowhere to be seen when the country was bankrupt is rising up its head again as the country is about to come out of her insolvency. Thilanga faction to join SJB. At a recent programme on ITN, Sri Lanka Freedom Party's Duminda Disanayake claimed they had no reservations about the party's future. All outstanding issues will be resolved within a week, he said with confidence. However, the SLFP faction led by Thilanga Sumatipala had secret talks with the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. Thilanga, Rohana Lakshman, Hemal Gunasekara and another member participated. Tissa Atanayake, Ranjith Maduma Bandara and Harshana Rajakaruna attended from the SJB. They discussed a future alliance between the two sides based on 25 key matters. With a claim of success, they agreed to meet for more rounds of talks. In the meantime, the SLPP is yet to finalise a decision on future elections. Nimal Lanza of the New Alliance says they are prepared to welcome the SLPP with open arms if they drop the Rajapaksas and come to them. Nimal Siripala de Silva, the acting SLFP chief, questions if there is a SLPP without the Rajapaksas. He argues Ranil badly needs them, especially Mahinda, if he wants to win the presidency. However, Lanza maintains Ranil will be finished as soon as Rajapaksas comes to his aid. Anyway, the SLPP is adamant that it will announce its stand only after Ranil comes out with his. For the SJB, Sajith is in a new image-building drive to counter challenges from the government side. His senior advisor Lakshman Fonseca is in charge. Chaminda Adiri Wikrama, Kellam Palitha Mahirathna and Lalith Sumanasiri are the key players. After the Leader TV revealed an advertising firm with a political background is doing its strategic communication part, Irvin Wirakadi said some are suspecting him to be behind it. He ruled out involvement in any political campaign. So, the Leader TV has to give a name to avoid further confusion. In charge of the SJB campaign is a makeshift firm called Delphi, partnered by around 10 advertising veterans. Kalam Palitha is the coordinator. They started work with an image of Sajith's small daughter. Namal worried by Prasanna's Durian Rambutan talk. The SLPP held a women's event at Biagama on Sunday. SLPP national organiser Namal Rajapaksa presided at the event with Prasanna Ranatunga, two present. Prasanna spoke before Namal and explained the commitments made when they formed the SLPP. In an emotional speech, he recounted how he protected the party while many deserted it. Looking at Namal, he said it was not time to experiment at the presidential polls. So, he said he believed the party would name the most suitable candidate. Ending his speech, Prasanna repeated an interesting yarn told to him by an old guard in Biagama. It said that J.R. Jayawardena and Ranasinghe Premadasa got invited to hell. They discussed what to take. Premadasa suggested durian, but J.R.'s rambutan was agreed upon, as he was the senior. Once in hell, the god of death inquired what they brought. When told it was rambutan, he ordered his men to put them on the duo's backside and pound on them. J.R. inquired from Premadasa as to what would have happened had they bought durian. Namal said with a smile that it was a good one. Prasanna said all would be finished if chances are given to the inexperienced. For sure, Namal may have imagined the difference between durian and rambutan. That's politics. There are no shortcuts. Experience is the key word. Also needed are courage, patience, and shrewdness. Many go wrong there. If used wisely, these qualities could help the country and her people to have a better future. That's it for today.